Well, hey y'all, it's been a minute. The hubby was in town, and it was wonderful. It was so wonderful. It's never enough time. It's never enough time. But we do what we gotta do, right? We do what we gotta do. Um, just I don't know. Like I just felt like talking about how a lot of women are like, hey, I want a man who provides. Let me tell you about that. Having a man who provides, being able to stay at home with your kids, like my daughter here, it's a wonderful thing. It's a humbling experience. It's always a humbling experience constantly. And you learn things. Like one thing that I'm learning about is like being a mom 24/7, right? So I'm learning like the reason why men love peace is because they need a mother for their children. I'm gonna break that down. This is what I'm saying. Like, ooh, that was weird. I was like, anyway, all day, every day, I'm dealing with my husband's kids, right? And so, yeah, they my kids too, but just follow me. They have so many of his mannerisms, and everything that they do affect me. And this is what I'm starting to realize too, is that this is why it's so important to marry before you carry, because if you're not willing to marry that man, when you start getting into more complicated parts of your marriage, it can get out of hand real fast. If you're not, I don't want to say, I don't know, like locked in. If you're not like locked in, right? So anyway, just going back to this whole holding the man down, right? While he's out doing all this stuff, working, providing, it's so much work that housewives do at home. And when people think housewives, a lot of times they think house. You just sitting in the house with the kids all day. Nothing can be furthest from the truth. Even though the kids are not old enough to be in like extracurricular activities, they're still doing a lot. And I'm still teaching them a lot. And even with my husband, like when he was in town, for some time off or whatever, he's learning a lot about, being a dad and being a husband. And I think that's something with women, like we don't understand that men, they are learning to be parents too. Like it's really popular for people to be like, well, women, to be like, yeah, I do this for the kids, I do that for the kids. Or that we could get real impatient with the dad or whatever. But it's like if you're separate, right? Let's say if me and my husband, we weren't like as one, if we were two separate entities, right? It makes things way more complicated because if he's him and I'm me, and we're both figuring out our own thing, and then like I guess like the co-parenting type deal, it puts so much pressure on the kids. Now with our situation, we were blessed enough to where we're one union, my husband and I, and then our children are under us, right? So with that being said, even with that setup, there's still a lot of work that goes into that because he's learning how to be a husband in a different way. Just like I'm learning how to be a wife in a different way. A lot of times when people think about women having children or a family with children, they think, dad, mom, kids, and it's like, oh yeah, y'all were together, you have a child, and then now you got, a family. But you go through changes. And I think like a lot of people think that, oh, being with a man who provides, like, you get to sit at home and just focus on the kids. But it's not just focusing on the kids. It's also focusing on your husband, his mental health, the things that are going on with his career and things like that, as well as what your place is in his career every day. His children, how his children are being impacted. You know, like if the kids are sick, yeah, that affects him at work. He's thinking about the health of his children. Or if I get sick, you know, and the kids are fine. So it's so many different moving parts to it, but I just have to say, like, it's the best. Like, I don't mean to exclude people, but if it's a lot of women that is like anti-man out here, and man, they don't know what they missing. Like, I'm just saying, like, I watch the strong independent women, I watch the rhetoric, and it's like all that noise. You know, I'm cool. I'm chilling. I'm, as they say, slow motion. Like, and it's good to be slow motion with stuff like this because I'm learning how to be a human being. I'm learning how to also humanize my husband and my children, and ultimately it makes me better as a person.